everyone. Can you hear me? Let's have a seat and let's get this meeting started. I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us during our weekly MLS breakfast meetings. My name is Nanette Ong from Coldwell Banker George Realty, and I am your February program chair. Jolene too will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please place your right hand over your heart. Face the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jolene. Chris Hahn is going to provide us with an inspirational quote for this week.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So real estate's a little tough right now. Life's a little tough right now. So it's always nice to have something optimistic and coming from someone who's suffered far more adversity than any of us. So this is optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. And that was Helen Keller. Great day.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Now, a little about me. Last week, I mentioned I had no polls practically, so I felt a little inspired for myself. So over the weekend, I did a little adventure. It's not as adventurous as the affiliate spotlight last week by Mark Wu, but let's take a look. I did a little clip. So I do move. I have a pulse. Yes, that was at the Chino Hills State Park. We went there to see if there was any bloom, but there obviously wasn't any bloom yet. I mean, there was just a little bit of right there. You could see a little purple, but I think maybe in a few weeks they have more bloom. So we were looking for a big super bloom, but there wasn't any. As you can see, it was all green, green hills. And that was about me. And now moving on, a few housekeeping tips. Just a little reminder for those on Zoom, all participants will be muted upon entry into the MLS breakfast meeting. Should you have any questions or comment, please enter into the chat box and it will be addressed accordingly. For those here in person, please approach the microphone later on in the Q&A should you have any questions. Please remember to also join us weekly as we will have our hybrid MLS breakfast meetings every week on Thursdays at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Please register in advance for this meeting and indicate whether you're attending live or virtually. After registering, you will receive a confirmation email containing information about joining the meeting. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available online on our YouTube channel, West San Gabriel Valley Realtors. Please remember to follow us on WSGVR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch our pre-recorded videos on YouTube and join our text messaging group for updates. For updates, text the letters WSGVR to the number 888-301-2201. Today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight by Joseph Nguyen of Pillar to Post Inspections and our guest speaker, Glen Kangas of True Footage. And just a reminder, to be eligible for today's drawings, you must be a WSGVR member and be present in person at the association to win. We will be having an attendance drawing, a 50-50 raffle, and an Amazon gift card drawing. Our 50-50 raffle is being sold today by Cecilia Nguyen, and it's $1 for one ticket, $2 for 4 tickets, and $5 for 10 tickets. Affiliate Spotlight and Top Affiliates introductions are brought to you by the Affiliate Committee, in which Lena Sankari of US Bank chairs and Teresa Nguyen of Loan Direct is vice chair. Now, please, let's have Joseph Nguyen come up to stage for the Affiliate Spotlight.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Joseph with Pillar to Post Home Inspectors, and I'm very thankful for being here to present to you guys real quick. So real quick, again, I am a home inspector with Pillar to Post, the Velez team. Spencer Velez is my partner and my boss. Just a quick quote from us is a house is made of wood and stone, but only love can make it a home, by William Arthur Ward. Next, please. With our franchise, we are veteran owned and operated. So the both of us, we were in the Marine Corps together. Some cool little photos that I took while I was over there. We will definitely help you and your client have the confidence in home ownership when we're doing our inspections. We print and review the report on site, as well as offer your clients 3 different home inspection packages to meet their needs as well as their budget. And then we do have a couple of additional services, and I'll kind of get to that later, as well as the easy booking process. So with every home inspection that you get with us, we will provide your client with a Pillar to Post 360-degree virtual tour. So pretty much just like Matterhorn, but it's a little bit more basic than that. We don't go through all that crazy detail, but they will have access, whether it's on their cell phone or whatever, or if you have clients overseas and they just want to see the property and they can't get to it, that definitely helps out as well. If your client decides to choose a package, the premium package or prestige, the 2 higher package than the plus package, they will also receive measured floor plans as well. So this definitely helps them just to get measurements for furniture or just help their contractors as well. We also provide estimates, free estimates to all your clients. All packages will receive this, and it is powered by a punch list. And our cool little home manual, it's like a safety recall check on all the appliances currently in the property, as well as any new appliances that your client decides to add to their to this list of safety recall checks. As long as it has a serial number on all the items, whether it's a laptop, TV, computer, baby monitor, anything, you can have that uploaded, scan, and they'll give you a safety recall check, and it's on us for a whole year. And this is if you choose the premium or the prestige package. Next, please. And my favorite person, my second favorite person, well, they're very tight. My wife and my daughter, my ladies, just some cool little photos. I'm a super proud dad. I can't believe, I think I just mentioned to someone, she's already a year and a half. Grow up so fast. She's right now she's at the phase where mommy's the superhero. Daddy is like, I used to be able to ask for kisses. Now she's like, no, I'll just kiss mom instead. Yeah. Next, please. And then if we ever get to put her down early, my wife and I, we enjoy some board games together. I am the resident dungeon master when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons with all my friends. If you guys are ever interested, let me know. I would be more than happy to hook you guys with a one-shot. Last. And I've learned how to make sushi during the pandemic.
Wow.
I've been rolling sushi. It takes a while. I can see why when you order your sushi and it takes so long to get it. It takes a lot of patience. So I can't tell you guys how many times I had to roll them to get them this nice. So whenever you guys get sushi, please tip them. They work really hard. It's very creative. You can really put any ingredients you want and just make them look nice. I almost didn't even want to eat it because I worked so hard. All right, and that should be it with me, my little presentation. So I look forward to being a part of your family and being part of your you and your client's buying process. All right, have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Wow, I thought that sushi was from some restaurant. I mean, sushi was from some restaurant. That's professional style. And it's nice to see your daughter. I remember when she was just a baby where she couldn't walk, dressed as Snow White for the Halloween costume contest, and she did win that. So it's nice to see that she's growing with us as well. She has legs now. She's probably running around. Hard to keep up with her. Thank you again. Now we will have the top affiliates introductions, and we will start with those here in person first. And then we will move on to the ones joining us virtually.
Good morning. I'm Cosmo Sanchez, mortgage lender with New Aim Funding.
Good morning, everyone. Property and casualty broker with CST Insurance. You guys have a great day.
Good morning, Alina Chu with Glen Escrow. Stay dry out there. Thank you.
This is Annie Fan, Chicago Title. Have an amazing day.
Again, my name is Joseph with Pillar to Post Home Inspectors. It's really rainy outside, so make sure you guys drive safe out there.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lucia Tam, representing CARPA, Chinese American Real Estate Professionals Association. Really, stay warm, stay dry, and stay safe.
Good morning, everyone. Yolanda Martinez Arenas, WFG National Title Company. Have an awesome day and be careful out there in the roads.
Good morning, everybody. Chris Hahn with Guild Mortgage. Have an awesome day.
Well, good morning. It's all a matter of perspective. It's nice and sunny outside. Drive safe. Mario Manzanillo, king of reverse mortgages.
Good morning, Nancy Chan, lawyer's title. Have a wonderful day.
Good morning, everyone. Brandon Savransky with First American NHD. Have a fantastic day.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Lena and Karen from US Bank Home Mortgage. Thank you.
Good morning, Wendy Scara with Wells Fargo Home Loan Mortgage.
Hi, everybody. Ed Higuchi with New York Life. Hoping is not a plan. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Joe Haggerty with Orange Coast Title. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for keeping it to a morning greeting and no promotions. So let's move on to those joining us on virtually on Zoom. And we have first John Wax of Snap NHD.
Good morning, everyone. John Wax with Snap NHD, Natural Hazard Disclosures. Stay safe as you move through your day and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Sage Gomez.
Sorry, I was waiting for someone to unmute me. Good morning,
sorry.
everyone. Sage Gomez here with my NHD. I just want to let everyone know I broke my ankle, so I have to work from home for a while. So if you don't see me in person, that is why. But I'll definitely still be working from home. So if you need anything, I'm always here to help. Sage Gomez with my NHD. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, Sage. Recover soon. Judy Chow.
Good morning, Sage. Take care. And the senior loan officer from AA Capital Investment. Stay warm and safe. Have a great week.
Next, we have Mark Wu.
Good morning, everybody. Rain or shine, I'm here for you for your property insurance needs.
Next, Janet Lowe.
Yes, this is Janet. Can you see me? No, probably. I am not there in person, but I am here virtually. So have a good day, everyone. Janet Lowe with ACG Funding. I am the queen of mortgage.
Thank you. I wish I had your excitement this morning.
Yeah, I just came back from the gym.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Why aren't you here then in person?
That's why I'm late. I rather get on a Zoom.
I'm just playing. It was good to see you last week. Sandy
thanks.
Franco.
Good morning, everyone. Sandy Franco, First American Home Warranty. Have a great day.
Thank you. And last we have Oriana Chan.
Yes, good morning. Oriana Chan with Prime Lending.
Thank you. And that's all our affiliates introductions today. Please remember to support them with your transactions. We are happy to include open pitching to our hybrid breakfast MLS meeting. Reminder, if you would like to pitch your listing, you must go to wsgvr.com, click on Open Pitch tab, fill out the caravan request form, and submit it no later than Tuesday midnight of the week you want to pitch. Today, we have 2 listings. The first one is by Mindy Ye of Remax 2000.
Good morning, everyone. Have a new listing. Please come join us for open house Sunday, 1 to 5. It's gated community in City of Baldwin Park. It's in the Indio gated community, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 1,828 square feet, built in 2017. It's about 50 units in there. HOA is very low, 129. I'll be having a raffle drawing. Please come join us. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Mindy. The second listing we have for today is by Danny Kim of Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, I'm Danny. Yeah, this house is in Alhambra off of Margarita. It's been completely redone. They added a bedroom and an extra bath and a half. Originally, it was for a wedding gift for the son, but the son said it was a little too far. So she has really good materials top to bottom.
Thank you, Danny. That concludes our open pitching for today. We move on to our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is Glen Kangas. He has been an appraiser in the San Gabriel Valley for over 30 years with over 10,000 homes appraised and a wide range of experience in luxury, historic architecture, ADUs, 2 to 4 units, TIC, REO, and cooperative appraisals. He started his own company in 2004, GA Appraisals Incorporated, and in 2020 began mentoring trainee appraisers. He is now with True Footage Incorporated, a fintech appraisal company on the cutting edge of appraisal modernization. His latest passion is to help non-appraisers understand the appraisal process. Let's give a warm welcome to Glen Kangas.
Good morning, everybody. I know you were all so excited because there's nothing more exciting than listening to an appraiser talk about appraisal stuff. I mean, it's just what people get up in the morning for. So it's great to have you all here. One of the things I always do is I do a selfie with the people behind me. So I'm going to do a selfie. And if anybody over there wants to come over here, I don't know if I can get the whole thing in, but we always do a selfie. If you want to even come and stick your head up there, it doesn't matter. The more fun we make it, the better. So anybody who wants to kind of go towards the middle, you can make funny faces, you can wave, you can pretend you're having a good time, you know, any of that kind of stuff. So I'll do one like this way, and we'll do one like this way. All right.
Great.
Follow me on social media if you want to get that. I will not give it to you any other way. Just kidding. Okay, so today we're going to talk about two things. Basically, I'm going to spend a few minutes just talking about the things you can do to help when you have something in escrow. You have no idea what appraiser is going to show up at your house, where they're going to be from. You don't have any control over, you know, making sure that they know what they're doing and that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about a few things that you can do to just help make sure or reduce the chance of having an issue. I've been an appraiser for 30 years, grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. I'm a San Gabriel Valley guy. When I go appraise in other areas, I come back here, I always feel at home. I just love being in the San Gabriel Valley. So the first thing, we just make sure that we help us do our job properly. And then we'll talk about ADUs. I know it's kind of a, you know, nobody wants to talk about ADUs. We're going to talk about it anyway. So the company I work for, we have a Facebook group for appraiser, a Facebook group for agents, just to ask questions anytime you want. You can scan the QR code. I'll have it again at the end, but it's just an open forum just to ask any appraisal question. There's several appraisers in that group with lots of experience, FHA, VA, conventional, everything. So join that group and we'll answer a question anytime. We also post just information every once in a while. So, all right. So how can you help the appraiser with your sale? And this market's crazy right now, right? And I always tell people, you want to make sure you provide them with relevant information. And if you want to give comps, you can, but you got to make sure that you give them stuff that proves the contract price. So the first thing is comp selection. And I do another class on that, on just how appraisers do things. But you make the easiest way to understand what is a relevant comp, what's a comp that we're going to use in the appraisal to prove the value, is basically something that if you're a buyer of that property, they would have looked at that property to buy it. So if it's a 3,000 square foot house and that's what they want, when you provide me a 2,000 square foot comp because the price per square foot is the same as what our price per square foot should be, that does us no good. What would your buyer have looked at? So that's a big deal on that. We also have to bracket. We don't want to get all the comps that sold for more than us. We need both higher and lower. That's okay. Lower is okay. And if you have any info on some of the sales in the area, especially if there's something unique about the property, something unique about the transaction, you guys are involved in them. It's great to do that. Any explanations for, in a normal market, we always want to explain why it went over asking. That's even still pretty common, especially in the entry level market right now. We're still seeing offers over asking. And then the other things that we need as an appraiser is a list of the upgrades. And on the appraisal form, they made a change like 10 years ago. Kitchen and baths in particular, less than 1 year, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, or 11 to 15 years. So the more information we have, the more accurate we can be in describing the property and then valuing the property. And then if you're in an area where location makes a difference, I live in Monrovia. Everybody, above Foothill in Monrovia is obviously a big deal. It's actually between 11 and 14% different than south of Foothill when we've analyzed the statistics. But make sure you let the appraiser know, in case they're not aware, that that's a big deal if you're in an area where that's a big deal. School district, right? San Gabriel, the Temple City School District, people get excited about that. Make sure the appraiser is aware of that, just in case they've sent somebody who doesn't know that. So. And then here's just to prepare for the appraiser. I encourage you to meet the appraiser. I want to meet you. That's my chance to talk to you. My best source of information as an appraiser is the realtor. Realtors have all the information I want to know. And so it's great when I get you to meet me at the property. Now, I know there's appraisers who don't want to meet the realtor. They want to go show up on a lockbox and walk around like this, but it's good to meet the appraiser, talk to the appraiser. And make sure we have access to everything. The banks require us to go into every single room, every single building, basement. We got to take a picture of the water heater. You need carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. If it's not there yet, because your seller was going to take care of it and they haven't done it yet, the buyer's going to get charged for us to go back out to take a picture of the smoke detector. And no, you can't send the smoke detector because we sign a certification that says we went there to do it. So if there's permits, there's a recent addition, or there's something where the square footage will come into question. If you have permits and a certificate of occupancy, that stuff is great. And if you have something that's unusual, it's got a tennis court, it's got a underground helicopter landing pad. I don't know how that works, but anything unique, if you know of a comp that had something like that, let us know. All right, that way sometimes those things are hard to find. And then the most important thing you can do in a purchase, make sure that the appraiser knows what it's in escrow for. The banks do not always send us the entire contract. We get the original contract without the counter offers at least half the time. And now, especially, we see that could be 100,000 different, 150 different. So we need to know what it's an escrow for. And if we don't find that out ahead of time, it causes real trouble if for some reason we didn't come in at the actual contract price, even if we thought it was okay. So a couple of do's and don'ts. What you can do, you can absolutely give an appraiser comps. There's nothing wrong with that. There are appraisers out there who are inflexible and don't want that. We're trying to get rid of those people, but it's very important. I don't want to miss any data. Give me your comps. If I don't like them, fine, I don't like them. I need them because sometimes I miss something. The search, there's one property just outside of my search parameters. So it's great when you provide comps. And again, any information about the comps or the neighborhood, especially anything unusual, unique, or different that we need to be aware of. So whatever we need to make sure we can do a thorough, accurate report about the property and about the neighborhood. The things you can't do are, you can't say, hey, I need it to appraise. And you think it's going to appraise at the contract price? You're not technically allowed to say that. I always have very specific responses to that. Looks pretty good to me so far, or things like that. But technically, you're not supposed to be able to discuss the specific value of the property or attaining that specific value of the property. And then once the appraisal is submitted, you're not really allowed to call and say, hey, is that okay? Or, hey, why did you come in $250,000 below my purchase price? I actually just did that last week. And it was a really sad situation where the buyer's agent was not representing the buyer's interest in the current market. So what's our next one? All right, so current issues, right? We went from earlier in 2022, the market went crazy. Everything's going in over asking, 400,000 over asking. I think Altadena averaged 400,000 over asking. 150, 200, just crazy stuff. But when you're pricing stuff now, remember, Again, if you give the appraiser comps, just understand that in most areas, the comps from March, April, May, and June of 2022, even though it might be similar to your house, the market's probably down from that point. So understand that all those are great comps, the appraiser is going to adjust them down in most areas for a time because the market now is not the same as it was then. And the other thing that's really late 2021 comps in most areas have been pretty good as far as the current pricing. But the other thing you need to remember is what segment of the market you're in. The entry level segment has suffered less than the next level up. And then the higher, the high end market, depending on where you're at, is in, for the most part, an oversupply. But the entry level market is still in shortage for the most part. So just remember when you're figuring out your pricing and what the appraiser is going to be able to approve, what segment are you in and what's going on in that particular part of the market. So let's get to the boring stuff. ADUs. There's ADUs. Everybody else talking about ADUs right now. And I just want to go over a few things. I'm going to gloss over a couple things. Basically, we can't get into the weeds on exactly every type of ADU and JADUs and that kind of thing. But as we all know, since 2017, the state's basically passed laws encouraging ADU use. Previously, most cities and counties were pretty restrictive of ADUs, hard to build, hard to permit, very difficult. The state basically said, we have a housing shortage and you're going to do it, and too bad if you don't like it. So basically made them legal in all residential zoning. The cities pretty much have to allow them, and the cities have to approve or deny them within 60 days, or they're considered approved automatically. And also, for the most part, there's a few exceptions, but the cities cannot restrict them from being rented in most areas. So that's another thing. The cities would say, oh, you can build one, but you can't rent it. So for the people who wanted to do that, it was difficult. Later on, I'll let you know, you'll be able to just send me an email or give me a card and I'll send you a list of links to websites with a lot of handouts and a lot of real detailed information that you can research. First thing we want to do is, what is an ADU? And that's an area where I see listing agents all the time. They call something an ADU. It's not an ADU. So the criteria are, number one, it must be subordinate to the main dwelling. Now, we've seen some exceptions to that because the state has basically said, we don't care. But for the most part, an ADU is inferior or subordinate to the main dwelling. The main dwelling is a 2,000 square foot house. The ADU is significantly smaller. But the ADU must be independent, have power, have its own separate entrance, have its own kitchen, and it also must have a separate living and sleeping area. Now, it doesn't have to have a bedroom, but at least has to have separate areas for a living area and a sleeping area. And it has to have full bath facilities. So you got to be able to do everything in the bathroom, not just brush your teeth and go to the restroom. So in the kitchen, an ADU kitchen, to be an ADU, it must have cabinets, countertops, a sink, and a stove or stove hookup. If it doesn't have a stove or stove hookup, it is not an ADU. It's a guest house. And that'll become where we'll talk about that later. Hot plates, microwaves, toaster ovens, those do not qualify as a stove or stove hookup. So, and that's a big deal. That you'll see later. We'll talk about that. ADUs can be lots of things. They can be attached. They can be detached. They can be a third floor, as long as it's got its own entrance. It can be a basement. There's a lot of areas in hilly areas where you might have a basement area on the backside that can be an ADU. It can be a garage conversion, or it can also be on top of the garage. One of the most recent laws that they passed last year allows 2-story ADUs, and one's on top of a garage, in particular when the house itself is 2 stories. So there's a lot of different options as far as ADUs. And then there's many types of ADUs, right? There's stick-built ones, that's built just like a house. There's prefab ones. There's a lot of companies doing some really nice prefab stuff. But those are of varying levels of quality too. Some of them are really high quality, some of them are not. There's modular ones. Again, it's kind of a prefab, but it's a little flimsier, not quite as good quality. And then a manufactured home can actually be an ADU. The only problem with that is if it's not permanently affixed, then you can't give it value in the appraisal because it's considered personal property. So, but there's lots of different types of ADUs. And again, the links I'll be able to send you will have all sorts of information on different types that are available. And then this actually becomes important when people are deciding how much they're willing to pay for an ADU. Is why do they want an ADU? So they might want it for income to help pay the mortgage. That's probably the most popular thing, it sounds like. Might want it to be for a place for your parents to live and be close. Or there's actually people who build an ADU and plan on living in it later and having their kids live in the front house when the parents retire, and that way they're close. And that way they don't have to go buy a new house or anything like that. If you have a child that is a high functioning disability person, you might want them to live in an ADU to where they're independent and yet they're still close. And you might want to use an ADU for workspace. Obviously now with COVID, there's a lot more people working at home. Nice to have an area where you can go and get away from the family and not be distracted. So those are some of the primary reasons that people want ADUs. All right, whoops, went back. Come on, there we go. Now I'm getting out of there. All right, so how do we value ADUs? How do appraisers determine the value? And the one thing I really want to point out is we don't decide how much the ADUs are worth. The buyers decide how much it's worth, and we pull that information from the market. So we're pulling information from the market to tell us what buyers are paying for ADUs. I just don't want you to think that I get to decide, oh, an ADU is worth this. That's not my job. So my job is to see what the market's paying for them. The way we do that, paired sales, it's actually modified paired sales. A paired sale, a true paired sale would be two identical properties except for one thing different. We almost never see that in the market, but a modified paired sale is we make some adjustments, and I'll show you some examples of that. Grouped data doesn't work great for ADUs because the square footage becomes an issue, and there's really not a lot of ADU sales. So you have ones without ADUs or lots and lots of data, and with ADUs, it's just a small number. We can do the cost or depreciated cost approach, how much to build it, and what's the depreciation based on how old it is and how much it's worn and that kind of stuff. And we can also do an income analysis, gross rent multipliers, things like that. The only problem with that is the gross rent multiplier, cap rates, things like that. When you figure that out for other properties, it includes the value, the contributory value of the land, and the ADU doesn't get the land. So the income analysis so far has been pretty ineffective on that front. The only thing that I've seen that seems relevant is just a cross check of the value is how long does it take to recoup your investment in building an ADU. So if it's in a reasonable, normal, expected time frame, that might be a reasonable current value for the ADU. But that's still being developed in the appraisal industry. So here's a couple of examples. This is you guys are going to be like, this is what I came for, right? Got a Montebello house that's sold on Montebello Boulevard, all remodeled. They remodeled the house and they converted the garage and added on to the garage. Right. So it's got 752 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath ADU, but no garage. I found a paired sale, one that's fairly similar to it. It's about the same size, 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath, sold within a week of ours. It's on a smaller lot. And then was remodeled about 20 years ago. So it's not completely remodeled. It's not a perfect paired sale. And it has a 2-car garage. So what we do is we account for the other differences. So the lot size being smaller, we're going to adjust up for that. The condition, we're going to adjust up for that. The condition is probably about $100,000 difference. And for this case, once you take everything into account, it looks like the buyer and the market paid about $100,000 to $125,000 for that ADU. And it does matter, obviously, how big is the ADU, how new is the ADU, what's the condition, how many bedrooms, all that kind of stuff. But in this case, it ended up being, from 133 per square foot to about 166 per square foot for that particular ADU in Montebello. So this is an example of what an appraiser would do in an appraisal to figure out how much an ADU is worth. Now, if the ADU that we're appraising is smaller or bigger, we might tweak that. I'm gonna use the price per square foot metric and come up with a value for my particular ADU depending on its size and age and condition. Got another example. There we go. Here's one in Temple City. We've seen this a little bit in Temple City and some other areas on brand new construction where they're building an ADU. There's a property on Kaufman that sold for about 2.5 million. It was almost 4,000 square feet. Temple City won't let you build above 4,000, as you know. On a 10,000 square foot lot, brand new home with an 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath ADU. There wasn't another brand new construction sale recently. The time is a big deal right now because the market's changing. So picking comps that are similar in time is important. But there was a sale on Sultana, a couple-year-old home, a little smaller in square footage, almost 3,300, sold kind of in a higher point of the market and on a smaller lot, and it had no ADU. So after adjusting for the difference in size, the fact that it's not quite brand new and it's on a little smaller lot, that one was around 150,000 for that 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, brand new ADU. So that's just a little under $200 a foot, 187.50 in case you're being specific. But again, what we're seeing is the cost of the ADU to build is going to be much higher than $200 a foot. That's one of the problems with building ADUs is as you know, the first square footage that you build of any house is the most expensive. So when you're building a smaller house, your price per square foot to build is pretty high. So, and now how can you help the appraiser? I keep telling you that because you are the best source of information for us. And any appraiser, I tell them, who doesn't understand that needs to go find another job. You guys have all the information that I need to know. And that's why I love talking to realtors and agents and, spending time talking to you. So they do have in CRMLS, there's an ADU section now. I don't even remember how long it's been there. You need to check yes, that it has an ADU when you're putting your listing in. And again, make sure it's really an ADU. It's not an ADU if it doesn't have a fully functioning kitchen with a stove or a separate sleeping area. And then also make sure you see on the right-hand side, there's make sure we know how big it is. Make sure we know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how old is it? Is it a garage conversion? All of that information is there. And the more information you have that's accurate there, the easier it is for us to analyze and figure out how much the market is paying for an ADU. That actually applies across all of the MLS stuff that you put in. And now a couple important things you want to remember with ADUs. The ADU does not count towards the living area. And one of the reasons I think it's really important for you to put that ADU information in there is when we compare houses, we're not comparing including the ADU living area. The ADU is a separate amenity, just like a pool or a guest house or a tennis court or anything like that. So the correct way would be to not include that in your main square footage. I know you're trying to sell a house and I understand that that's a marketing ploy, but at least make sure that we understand in the comments that the house was this big and the ADU was this big. And that allows us to do a better job, be more accurate in appraising properties. Also, including ADUs in the square footage or guest house in the square footage actually drops your price per square foot of what it sold for. So if you want to talk about how you sold for a high price per square foot, put the house square footage and it makes you look better. So the thing that's important about ADUs and the reason I get into what it really is an ADU, all the state protections on, you can rent it, you can permit it, you can build it. If it's illegal, they have to still have a process to quickly remedy it. If it's not an ADU, it doesn't qualify for that. And the city can just say, tear it down. So it has to be an ADU to get the protections from the state laws. That's why a pool house isn't considered that, a guest house, a bonus room or whatever. And the other thing about ADUs, the thing that people are always, seem bothered by is that, $150,000 on that new construction one, that's low, right? That's not that much. It costs way more for them to build that, I'm sure. But it's what's the current value for the future benefit. So it's like anything that you do that has a future benefit of the income or of the savings. Solar is the same way. It's what's the current value for that future benefit. And that's why if you make sure you have long-term thinking and don't assume, oh, it costs $300,000 to build that ADU, it should be worth $300,000. That's not really the way it works, because nobody wants to pay that money up front because they don't get the money until later as they collect rent from it if they're doing it on investment front. So if you're dealing with clients of yours, buyers or even sellers, I think it's really important to communicate that it's a long-term thing. It's not a, oh, you need to get your money up front out of it type of thing. There's also JADUs. JADUs are junior ADU. I don't really have a lot of time today to get into that. But something you really need to know, and it's on the information I send out. The JADUs are currently allowed to be rented, but that expires at the end of 2024. So if that law is not refreshed, basically, you could invest in a building in JADU and not be able to rent it. So if your purpose was to rent it, you need to be aware of that. So, and the other important thing, the value of the ADU depends on the size, the age, the bedroom count, the price range, what type it is. So a stick-built 1,000 square foot brand new 2-bedroom, 2-bath ADU is obviously going to be worth more than a garage conversion ADU that was just kind of swapped around. So that's important to understand. There's not one value for ADUs. It depends on what it is. Here is just a couple of quick resources. Again, I have a sheet. If you send me an email or give me your card, if you're in person today, I'll send you a sheet that will have way more than this on it. But the state has a website and they actually have a handbook that you can download, but I can send it to you. And then the Casita Coalition is the private organization that's a huge proponent of the ADUs. They have a ton of information that is available to you. I recommend checking those out. So again, here's the Facebook group. If you're interested in joining to ask questions about any appraisal related issues, how we do anything, including ADUs, you can scan that and download that. Also, if you want, I can email you a link to that if you want to get that information. We love answering questions and having communication with agents. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to get that. And just my information. Oh, I forgot to get rid of the blue. You said the blue is hard to read. I love connecting with people. I love having agents that I know and I can talk to, and I love answering questions, whether it's in the Facebook group or you can text or call me. You can email me. You can follow me on my Facebook page or connect with me on LinkedIn. Again, we love answering questions to help you understand what we do. And the more I can talk to you, the better I can do my job. The more agents I get to talk to, the better I am as an appraiser. So we'll have a quick Q&A or whatever time is allowed here. Although I'm sure there's no questions at all. I am told I have to tell you to go to the mic. I don't know who Mike is, but where's Mike? Oh, go to the microphone. Oh, that's it. That's it. This is my favorite part of talking. I try to make my talk short because you just want to ask me questions.
2008, HVCC came back, right? Our home value code of conduct. We were told, first, we cannot order appraisals to the appraisers that we know. They send them to a company. We don't know who the appraisers are. We don't know who they are. And we cannot talk to them of who they are because I contact one of the appraisers that we find out. He even told me, you contact me, you could be in violation of the law, HVCC. So how is that? Has that changed? Because I noticed that you say, hey, you can we used to send the comps and things like that, but now it's like, we don't even know who the appraisers are because the banks and stuff they hire, they has, so how do we deal with that? Or that's really my question. Has anything changed from the HVCC after 2008?
No, nothing's changed on that. That was actually HVCC was the first thing, and then Dodd-Frank was the bill after that. HVCC was Andrew Cuomo, the now disgraced governor of New York. That was his baby. And then Dodd-Frank was the bill that was passed in the Senate. That the biggest thing there that you're talking about is they decided there needed to be a firewall between the loan officers and the appraisers. So because typically you had a broker client and the broker said, hey, if you don't make the deal happen, I'm not giving you any more work. So there was a lot of undue pressure put on appraisers to perform and bring values in higher, and it caused some poor quality loans. That's actually one of the only things I like about HVCC is that there's been a bit of a firewall. I understand your situation, an honest, an ethical loan officer, it really made it hard for them, but that's the purpose of that, is to have the firewall between the loan production team and the appraiser, to allow the appraiser to be independent. Our job in the process is to be independent, unbiased, cold-hearted. We don't care, right? That's our job. I still care, not that much, but I still care, right? But that's our job. Our role in the process is to be the independent person. Your role as a listing agent is to get as much money as you can for your seller. And I encourage you to do that. But that doesn't mean that I have to appraise it at that value. You got to figure out how to do that. Now, as a buyer's agent, your job should be to protect your buyer. So I think there's a big difference there. But it's understanding our roles in the industry is the big part of it. But yes, you can still send comps. The agents can, the lenders can't. The agents can provide comps and provide information. It's just they don't want you to do undue influence to strong arm the appraiser to come in at the value. All right. Anybody else with another fantastic question? No ADU questions?
Yes,
No.
actually, there are two questions on WeChat. I'm sorry, on the chat box.
Okay.
Do you appraise vacant land slot?
Do I appraise vacant land? No, I have a friend I refer that work to.
Okay.
There's
And-
not around in Southern California, especially San Gabriel Valley, there's almost no vacant land. It's all mostly improved. But me personally, I have not done a lot of vacant land stuff because of that. It's more in outlying areas, but I have people that I refer that I know that do that kind of thing.
Great. Another question is, what is JADU stands for?
That's a junior accessory dwelling unit. So a junior accessory dwelling unit is less than 500 square feet. It's attached to your house. It can actually even be part of your house. And it used to actually have to have access from the house, but the law they passed in 2022 says that it can actually be blocked off. It doesn't have to be accessed from your house. A JADU can actually even share a bathroom with you in your house. And the JADU is the only one that if it is accessed from the house, counts as square footage in the house. The original design is really for a family member. I don't know why you'd want them that close, not detached, whatever. But yeah, that's the difference of JADU.
Just one more last question on chat. When I refi after we built our ADU, there's no ADU comps on the market, and the appraisal came back way less than the money we spent to build it. Is it still common now?
That's actually a great question. And that's really kind of the crux of the point I was making today. There's more comps now. Having comps to choose to get the information from has been a huge problem. Not only having the comps, but having the information available to us as an appraiser, because everybody puts the garage might be a great ADU. So if I run a term search from the comments to find ADU, 98% of them are you telling me that the garage could be a great ADU, right? Yeah. Duh. So that makes it hard. But the fact that there's more makes it easier, definitely makes it easier. The fact that there's more gives us more data that tell us what the market's doing. And it also, the more people become familiar with them, I think the more people will pay. There's a lot of times the market acceptance, the market understanding of something new, they don't pay full price for it. And the more it's in the market, the more people they'll become more sophisticated about what it is, the benefit of it, and that type of thing. But again, you're not going to get dollar for dollar. There's almost nothing in real estate, right? If you remodel your kitchen, you don't get dollar for dollar. Everybody puts out a thing of what's the highest return on, right? You spend $100,000 on a kitchen, you get 70% of your money back on the value, right? It's almost never, well, you get 150% back on your value. And ADUs, it's the same thing. It's again, a future benefit. The benefit is saving money on rent because you have a disabled child. The benefit is renting it out to make money, but it takes time to build that up. So.
Hi, good morning. Earlier you mentioned one of the valuation methodology is cost and depreciation. Can you explain a little bit about how ADU are depreciated? Are they depreciated like a rental property?
Yeah, just when we do the cost approach in an appraisal for a property, we can do the cost approach for an ADU. What's the cost to build the ADU? And again, it's if mine's a brand new ADU, then what's the cost to build it? If it's 20 years old or it's an old garage conversion, it's what was the cost to build it? How old is it? So what's the expected life of it? In the industry, a normal house has an economic life of about 60 to 65 years. I actually disagree with that because we have lots of houses way older than that. But you would just depreciate it. So if it costs $300,000 to build and it's depreciated by 20% on its life, then we're going to take $60,000 off of that. And the depreciated cost would be $240 for the current value if that was the case. Again, the issue with that is the market generally still isn't paying the full price up front because it's a future benefit. It's not, you don't get the whole money right away. So, all right, are we good? All right, great. Thank you very much. I love talking to agents. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Glenn. That was very informative. I had a question of my own, but I know we're out of time. And there were a few more questions that popped up in the Zoom chat. For those that had those questions, sorry we ran out of time, but you are welcome to email or contact Glenn with your questions and he'll be happy to answer them. Thank you, Glenn. And we do have a little token of appreciation for your attendance and presenting today. We have our centennial bag. It's insulated and we have a tumbler with a straw.
Everybody always wants a picture of the appraiser.
Yeah.
Butter. I look better up and down.
Thank you. Now let's give another applause for Glenn. Moving on to our attendance drawing, you must be a WSCVR member to win, and you must be present here at WSCVR. So the pot today is $200. And if we don't get a winner today, $25 is added next week for $225. Let's get started. And if we don't have a winner by the end of the year, we will keep drawing until we get a winner. And that's at the end of the year at our last meeting. Calvin Way, you'll be here the whole day of the last meeting. Calvin Way, no Calvin Way. So sorry, so sad, but good for the rest of us. $225 next week. Okay, we have Amazon gift card drawing. All of you have dropped your business card in the tumbler over here in the front. Last chance, 2 seconds. 1, 2, no more, closed. Only members. This is only for members. Affiliate members are included. And then we can also have our guest, Glenn, draw the lucky winners. So nobody else here is blamed. Nobody's going to blame the appraiser. Glenn says that's not true that we don't blame the appraiser. Yes, so we have to give appraisers a break sometimes. So draw 3 cards. Yes. Good luck, everyone. I didn't put my business card in, so you'll be winning. Should be disqualified. Who should be disqualified here? Shen Zhang? She, from Remax Home, she laid her hands on the tumbler, so she did something to that. She rigged it. So all of you were witness. She did not draw that. It was Glen. Oh, next we have who in our meeting today gave us an inspirational quote? Chris Hahn, Guild Mortgage. Verify if he's a member. Okay, so this one says Carepa. However, I don't know who. Oh, Lucia, I think you marked off. Okay, Lucia Tam of Carepa. Congratulations to all the winners. Please remember to participate in our education classes. Upcoming classes are Zip Form Plus training. That is next Monday, 9:30 to 12:30, and that costs nothing. CRMLS virtual training, Matrix engaging clients is next Wednesday, and 45-hour DRE licensing renewal continuing education is also next Friday. There is a cost to that one that is only $85. And there is a master distressed properties class Tuesday, March 7th, and that's free of charge as well. Let's move on to 50/50. Did everyone buy their tickets? Always, always. Thank you. And this is in support of our foundation. So $46 today. Number is 222-2064. 2064. Our lucky winner today is Yin Burr. He awarded $46. And I take a 20 for issuing fee. Congratulations. Now, before we end our meeting, does anyone have an open pitching? It's not for Caravan today. However, it is a pitch. If you do, please. That's the wrong ticket. Nah, I'm just kidding. Congratulations. Any additional open pitches today? I see none. Now, please join us for next week's meeting on March 2nd. And our speakers are WSGVR CAR directors giving CAR reports. Next month, March program chair will be Jolene too. So let's give her a warm welcome next week. Have a great day. Our meeting now is adjourned. Have a